it's Justine. Welcome back to my channel. We're going to be talking about Avatar: The Way of Water or Avatar 2 today. And I know that I usually do like book reviews, but like I also watch movies. Yeah, I'm multifaceted like that. So I got the opportunity to watch this movie in a pre-screening 3 days before it was officially released on Friday. So I watched it Tuesday night. Yes, it was finals week. I did do that, but it's okay. It was worth it because it was an insanely good movie. I watched it in 3D too, and if you're gonna watch it in 3D. Okay, watch it in 3D. Just trust me. Let's talk about my viewing experience. That's what movie people talk about. Okay, insanely good. I went with one of my friends who was like not super like Avatar fan. I mean, I wasn't like a super Avatar fan before I realized that this movie was coming out, and then I was like, damn, Avatar was like a kind of a good movie. So I rewatched it and I was like, yeah, it's a good movie. Shockingly, a lot of people my age weren't very excited for this movie. Like I couldn't find like anyone. But it's okay, I get it. Like it came out, like the first movie came out in like 2009 or something. Like it was kind of early on, but like it's nothing. It's just the highest grossing movie of all time. It's whatever. Okay. So it was an insanely good viewing experience. It's like one of those movies where I don't know if you feel that way, but like when you're watching a really good movie and you're just like, damn, I really hope this movie doesn't end, you know? Like sometimes you're like, that could be a good ending point. It's like, no, don't you dare stop the movie, you know? Like I was just like a lot of people might think this movie's too long, which makes sense. It's like 3 hours long, but I think that if your movie's good enough, it can be as long as you want it to be. That's just my thoughts. I really appreciated the length of this movie. First of all, besides like the visuals, like everyone knows the visuals are gonna be like amazing. Like the attention to detail is absolutely insane. And also, if you rewatch the first Avatar movie, everyone thought the visuals and the CGI on that was like amazing. But if you rewatch it, there's like some stuff that's kind of weird. There's like zero things I can think about that are weird in this one. Like it's just beautiful, stunning. It looks so real. Like it's absolutely amazing. Like the filming process, I'm like, damn, I didn't even think they were like, I didn't think they went to an ocean to film this. Like I think they were just like in a blue room with like a pool, which is kind of insane. Yeah, but I'm not really gonna talk about CGI because I'm not really like a CGI person. Anyway, so plot wise, it was also pretty good. I know a lot of people thought it was a letdown, but I thought it was amazing. Okay, so we're just gonna talk about it. I also got a super cool poster for my pre-screening. You can't. Do you see it? Do you see it? You can't. I went in with like really high expectations. Like I've been talking about this movie for like an entire week before I saw it, but like I came in with like incredibly high expectations, and I'd say that this movie met them all. I mean, like, okay, I'm not like a hardcore Avatar fan. I just like I don't know all the lore. I just watched the first movie. I liked the first movie. I went to Disney World like a year ago, and I went to the Pandora, the World of Avatar, like thing there, and I really enjoyed it, and it was really good. And also, sorry, I'll try. So I'm not like a die-hard Avatar fan, but like I was looking forward to this movie, and I had very high expectations, and I think this movie met like all my expectations, which, you know, media in general rarely does when you're like super hyped for something. So I really respect that, and I thought that was super cool. I'm gonna be talking some shit in this video about the movie, but just be aware that I talk shit about everything I love. Like if you didn't like I talked shit about the Dark Artifices. Okay, I read all 3 of those books and I loved every second of it, okay? I talked shit about any Cassandra Clare book. I talked so much shit about Cassandra Clare, but her books are good, okay? Like, I really like reading them, but like, just keep in mind that this is an objectively good movie. Like, objectively good. I don't know who could watch this movie and be like, it was bad. Like, it's good. This is cinema. You know, the way that they're advertising this, they're like, this is what movie theaters were made for. Like, yeah, they're right. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. You gotta watch this thing in theaters. Like, you gotta watch it in theaters. I'm gonna talk about spoilers now. This is a spoiler review. I don't really only do spoiler reviews because I like to talk about spoilers. So, if you have not watched this movie, get off this video. Get your ass off this video, okay? If you haven't watched the movie, get off this video because I really don't want to spoil. I really don't want to spoil for you, but by the time this video comes out, it's probably gonna be like 2 weeks after the movie was released, in which case, like, you should have watched by now. Okay, anyway, so, good things. Here are the good things. There are a lot of them. First of all, the opening sequence, and like also there were like 0 logos. Like I was, usually have like an entire minute of logos and you're just like, I'll wait through the logos. The logos were like 20 seconds long. Okay, anyway, so it goes straight into it. If you've watched the movie, which if you're watching this part you should watch the movie, it's so cute. It's like I feel like it's such a different vibe than like the first movie. Like this one feels like so modern and like human. Like I know that the last movie was also kind of human, but like the last movie it was like, I don't know, it was different vibes. Like this movie it's like so family based and it's like everyone can relate to it, like they're doing such it's so domestic. Like the opening sequence, it's literally so domestic. They're just doing things like the kids are like running around doing kid things. They're like marking how tall they are on the little wooden thing. And then Jake and Natiri have date nights. That's literally so cute. That's adorable. That's so cute. I can't get over it. Like the entire time I was like squealing. I'm like, oh my god, this is so cute. This is so adorable. Like honestly, it's got to be one of like my favorite sequences in like the entire movie. It's the first one, so like that's kind of impressive. And honestly, I feel like they did the exposition pretty well. Like it sounded a little bit awkward at times, but like, what can I say? It's been 14 years. Like Jake's got some shit to say. Let him say it. So he had to like narrate a lot, but I was like totally fine with that because the sequences were just so fun and I was having a good time. Okay, it was a good time. I really like the character design for like the Metkaina clan. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but like the water clan that they go to during the movie. Oh my god, like I could like sense, I could smell how much thought and how much research and how much love went into like developing and designing these characters so that they look different from the like Ometakaya clan, but they're like still like Na'vi. Like oh my god, the fact that they have like their necks are different, like it's like their shoulders and necks are different, and they have like bigger rib cages, which like as a big rib cage girl myself I appreciate. They have like their eye color, like everything, their tails, their like calves, their forearms, they all have like the like bigger so they can swim better. Oh my god, I loved it. I like every time I noticed a difference I was like, oh my god, look at their legs. Oh my god. I can't. Okay, it's just so good. Like that peak character design, so good. And also like the tattoos they have and the way it like kind of parallels like the war paint that the Ometakaya clan has. It's just, I love it. Okay, no, this isn't the controversial stuff. Well, I don't know what the controversial stuff is because I feel like not enough stuff is on about it and I haven't really read that many reviews yet. But I feel like potentially some controversial things could be Jake not being a perfect dad, because I feel like a lot of people on Tumblr, yes, I'm on Tumblr, don't try to find me on there, you will not succeed. A lot of people on Tumblr thought that Jake was going to be like the perfect dad. They're like, I feel like Jake's going to be like the perfect dad. Like, Jake's a perfect dad. And I feel like he is not. He is not a perfect dad. He's like honestly not great for a lot of the movie, but like not bad to like the point where you're like he's a bad dad. Like he's not a bad dad. He's just like he needs character development, which is good. I love characters who aren't perfect. Perfect characters are incredibly boring. So I really like that they did that with Jake. Like the fact that he definitely had a favorite son, right? He liked Nateum like way more than Lewak. Like he and Lewak, like they never share a tender moment throughout like the entire movie. Every single time Jake like cracks a joke or has like a nice moment, it's always with Nateum and not Lewak. And I'm like, poor guy, like you get why he's acting that way. And I like the way they did him like that. Like I know it's bad, but like I like the fact that Jake had a favorite son and it was like kind of screwed up, but like you can tell that he means well and he just like I don't know, he's just hard on them because he's ambitious, he wants the best for them. I don't know, he's not a great dad, but he's gonna figure it out. And guys, did you not notice how the only time he ever tells Lewak like he cares about him, he loves him, I see you, was after his favorite son got killed? Oh my god, I can't. Like when he was finally like I see you, I feel like it was supposed to be like a oh my god, he sees him moment. But like all I could think about was that like you're only saying you see him because your favorite son is dead and now you gotta get to like the other one. You know what I mean? Like I can't. Like the way Lewak was treated in this movie, he was done so dirty by Jake. Okay? Like when Lewak goes like and like after Nateum dies and Jake's like, Lewak, stay here. You've done enough. Is he implying that Lewak was responsible for the death of his brother? tell your son that. Don't tell that to your son. And then Locke, because honestly, I admire this a lot. Like, I could never. Locke goes and he's like, I'm gonna prove myself. And he goes and saves Jake and he helps him out of the ship so that he doesn't drown. And I'm like, oh my god, he really did that for his dad, who basically just told him that he was responsible for the death of his brother. And he goes out and Jake's like, I see you. And I'm like, this isn't that emotional because the favorite one's dead. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I mean, I don't think this makes Jake a bad character. Honestly, I think it makes him the opposite of a bad character. I feel like this gives him so much depth, you know, and it makes his story juicier. I feel like it didn't make me hate Jake at all. You know what I mean? Like, morally gray characters, you still love them, even though they have issues. And I feel like that's good. I really like that they did that with Jake. Second, Neytiri. Okay, I think a lot of people are mad about this. I just saw this on Tumblr. Someone was like, I hated that they did Neytiri like that. Neytiri would never do that to Spider. And I kind of disagree, okay? Because Neytiri likes Jake because Jake looks like her. Like, in basically every way, Jake looks like her. You know? But, like, the humans, and we know that Jake is human. Like, she knows that Jake is human too. But, like, Jake's in like his Na'vi body. He doesn't look human at all. And like, but she like saw the humans kill her dad basically. Like, the humans killed her dad, okay? And Spider looks like a human. And I totally understand why Neytiri would be like a little bit less than friendly to Spider, okay? And also, I don't know. Okay, a lot of people were like, Neytiri would love Spider like one of her own because her husband's a human. And I'm like, not to her, he isn't really. Like, Neytiri never refers to Jake as anything other than Na'vi, you know? But Spider is very clearly human. Like, they say multiple times that he's human. Everybody acknowledges that he's human. So I really liked that they did that with Neytiri and they had her kind of be hostile to Spider. And like, she like tried to kill him. Like, she was gonna kill him. And I liked it. Like, the entire time I was screaming, I was like, oh my god. Like, she was gonna kill him. And I was like, ah. And like, yeah, I'm glad she didn't kill him, but also I'm like, I understand, you know, why you're doing that. And I like that Neytiri isn't perfect, you know? I love imperfect characters. I think they're the best characters. If your character is perfect, there's something very wrong. Like, I like that, like, since the beginning, they show, and like the build up to that moment where in the beginning, they show like in the opening sequence where they're like introducing Spider, and they show that Neytiri like doesn't really want her kids playing with Spider, but Jake's like, no, it's fine. She's like, oh, okay. And then they have like when all the kids are like kidnapped at first, and then Kiri and Spider are running, and then Spider like falls off the log thing, and Neytiri's like, leave him, let's go. And everyone's like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, everyone's like, oh, okay, she definitely doesn't really care that much about Spider. Like, but then at that point, you're like, I kind of understand, you know? Like, obviously she care about Kiri more. You know, Kiri's like her own kind. Kiri's her daughter, literally. Like, they haven't really officially adopted Spider. So, like, they're like, okay, let's go, Kiri. So I'm like, okay, I get that one. I wasn't really like, oh my god, you know, at first. And then when they do that moment, and you're kind of like, and everyone's kind of like, oh my god. And no, and like before that moment when Spider's seeing like the video of Neytiri killing Korish, and she's like feral, and she's like getting him, she's like hissing and shit like an animal, and he's like scared. I was like, oh my god, like, that's such a good scene. I can't. And then they do it later on, kind of when she's like in the same like feral mode. She's like ripping people's freaking throats out. She's like, she gets that guy. She like gets that guy with her bow, grabs him by the neck, flings him into the other guy. I was like, oh my god. And she's like feral, and Spider's like scared. Like, because we kind of know at this point that if Neytiri sees Spider, she's gonna kill him because he looks like them, you know? Like, oh my god, I can't. It's just so good. And I feel like never at that point was I like, Neytiri is evil, you know? Like, I never thought Neytiri was evil. I'm just like, because of her circumstances, she's like this. And I get it. I don't support it, but I understand, and I think it's realistic. And I like that they did that. I really, 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 really liked it. The whole thing with Spider in general, I thought was just amazing. Like, I didn't go in thinking that I'd like Spider, like, at all. I was kind of like, oh, you know, he's just the human character. Oh my god. Oh my god. First of all, I don't know how I didn't see the Quaritch, I can't say it, the Colonel twist. I'm just gonna call him the Colonel. The Colonel twist happening. I think I saw like some theory on it on like Instagram, but I was like, nah, right? Like, how would he have a freaking son? But oh my god, when he was like, best not to know who your father is, and everybody's like, and then it goes and then it cuts to Quaritch, and I'm like, ah, my god, like that's so amazing. And then you see the way that like Jake's no, and then you see the way that like Spider's Na'vi family like abandoned him, and how Quaritch is like kind of treating him like his son. I know he keeps saying you're not my son, but like he's kind of treating him like his son. Like he talks to him like he's his dad, and you're like, like Spider's finally getting attention, and like I understand why he like that. And then like when they're training the Ekrons, at first I was like, Spider, why are you helping them like that? But then I'm like, but like, cause these people, they don't care about him. Like they don't care about Spider, but like I don't know, they like give him attention, and I know why he would like that, and I understand, and I think it makes a lot of sense. And then at the end, everyone's like, why would Spider save the Colonel? That's so stupid. I think it made a lot of sense, okay? Because, like, think about it. Spider's Na'vi family doesn't really care about him, like, at all. Like, okay, like, when Spider's kidnapped in the beginning, right? They take Spider up to the helicopter, and his entire Na'vi family runs away. And all they say is, like, no one really even says they took Spider except for Kiri. They're like, they took Spider. And then the only time anyone shows like sadness because Spider's gone is Jake, and Jake says they have Spider. That kid knows our entire operation. He's not even sad that they have like his kind of human son. He's just sad that like they're gonna get the rest of his kids now or whatever. Like they don't even try to rescue him. Like, not that I'm saying that they should have, but they should have at least thought about it, right? Like, I don't know. These people do not care about Spider, like, whatsoever. And then, like, the only time they care about him is, like, Lowak wants to get him, which, like, that was good. He wanted to, like, it led to, like, his other brother's death, and they probably didn't actually have to get Spider because he probably could have figured it out on his own. But, like, that was nice. He went to go save him, and that was really good of him, Like, that's the only time anyone from the Sully family has ever shown that they cared about Spider, like, whatsoever. And then the mom of the Natiri, like, Spider's, like, adoptive mom, threatens him at knife point. She's gonna kill him. She, like, cuts him. She's gonna kill him. And then his biological dad basically saves him. I totally understand why Spider saved him, Like, I wanted him to save him. I'm like, Spider, this is the only person who cares about you, Like, get him. First, like, it's kind of unrealistic that he'd be alive. Like, he was, like, under the water for, like, what, like, at least, like, 10 minutes, right? Why would have... I don't know how water works. Anyway, so when Spider, like, goes to get him, I think everyone in the theater was like, oh my god, why would you, like... I totally understand why Spider would do that. I'd do that if I was Spider, Like, because Quaritch is the only person in this entire movie who's shown that they cared about Spider at all. Even, like, Kiri. There was something going on between Spider and Kiri, but, like, Kiri has never really done anything for Spider, And then, when Spider leaves Quaritch, like, Quaritch is like, get on, come with me. I care about you. And Spider's like, no. And I'm like, I knew he'd say that, but, like, I was still kind of disappointed almost, because I'm like, think of the adventures you could have together, But, like, it's whatever. Like, so he leaves, and he goes back to his Na'vi family. And when he shows up, he, like, crawls onto shore. And not a single person turns around to look at him. Not a single person even thinks about the fact that Spider's gone. They have, like, their family hug. Like, I get that Natam isn't in the family hug. He's dead. But, like, Spider isn't in the hug, and nobody says anything. Nobody says, where's Spider? You know what I mean? And then, so, they're all, like, sitting on the shore, and Spider shows up, and nobody turns around to look at him. Like, he just shows up, he's crawling up on his own. He's, like, super injured. He, like, stands up. Kiri's the first one to look at him, but I don't think that means anything. You know what I mean? Like, Kiri cares about Spider, like, none. Kiri does not care about Spider. That's my hot take, okay? Nobody cares about Spider except for Quaritch. And I support the father-son duo, okay? I kind of wish he went with him. I kind of wish he went with him. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about Quaritch. I love him. I love him. I love him. I love him. I feel like even in the first movie, I like rewatched the first movie recently too, and I realized I was like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with this villain. Like he's just so good, and I feel like one of the reasons he's so good is just because he's so motivated. Like I don't know, he wants it so bad. You know what I mean? Like he's such a hard worker. He has so much grit. Like in the first movie, you know when they're like taking off in the plane and like and he's like, oh my god. And he like gets up on the balcony. He doesn't even put his mask on. He just takes a gulp of air. He gets up on the balcony and he just shoots at them. I'm like, oh my god, this man wants to kill these people so bad. And I was like, I know that later on he doesn't send planes after them and that was stupid. But I was like, he wants it so bad. He's just so motivated. He's so motivated. He just wants to kill this one guy. And I support him. I support him on that. You know? Okay. And also, I think his return made a lot of sense. Like the fact that like, they have like avatars for the military people so that they can come back alive. Oh my god, I kind of loved it. I was living for it. I like how they all have tattoos, implying that they got their avatar bodies tattooed, maybe with the same tattoos they had on their human body. That's funny. I just think that's funny. A little funny, a little silly. Okay. I also really liked the whale hunting scene, and I feel like a lot of people didn't like that. Like on Tumblr, I keep talking about Tumblr, and now people are going to think I'm a Tumblr girly. Okay, I just got on Tumblr for this one movie, okay? I'm usually not on there very often. Okay, so the whale hunting scene, a lot of people were like, the whale hunting scene made me so uncomfortable. I didn't like to see that. I'm like, I just think that's a little bit weird of you to say. Like, I'm not saying that it's weird, but like, there's so many gruesome deaths in this movie. You know, like the humans get like ripped apart. That guy's arm flies off and he falls into the water. Like there's so like Nataeum dies. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the whale hunting scene is not the most gruesome part of this movie, and I almost kind of enjoyed it. Like not in like a sadistic way, but like the way that they like how well thought out it is. Like how difficult it is to get one whale, and how they all have to like there's like hundreds of people on this boat, and it's all just to get one whale. They got the little sub people, and then they got the things that they put on the whale to like make it float with, and then the fact that they target the mothers because they swim slower because they have calves. Like I know that it's gruesome, but it's good. Like it's just so well thought out. Like the world building is amazing in this. It's so good, and the fact that they only get one thing from the whale, and then they just discard of its corpse, like it's so good. I mean, it's so bad, but so good. It's my god. Okay, so I like that. My favorite character in this movie was Lewak. I love him. Okay, first of all, he's an idiot. Lewak is possibly like one of the dumbest movie characters I've ever watched. Every time this man is given the opportunity to make a decision, he makes the like exact opposite of the good decision. You know what I mean? Like first he's like, let's go down there and get the guns even though we don't have to. Okay. And then his brother almost gets killed. Then he's like, I'm gonna beat up this guy for no reason. Let's get closer to this encampment even though these people have guns and they could kill us. Let's go with these water people who have just shown that they don't like me and I just kind of gruesomely beat up. And hopefully my like weak ass apology has, oh, it seems like they like me, I'll go out with them into the middle of the ocean now. Like why would you make that decision? I mean, but then you like totally understand why he wants to make that decision, because like he just wants to prove himself to his dad. I feel like you could like see in his head, you know what I mean? Like, oh my god, this character is so good. Like you can like see his like hamster wheel turning, and he's like, oh my god, like if I do this badass thing, my dad's gonna love me as much as he loves my older brother. And you're like, oh my god, and now you're just sad for him, and now you're not like, he's like, and also like just how similar he is to Jake. He's way more similar to Jake than like Nataeum is, just because he's like a himbo, you know what I mean? Like he's like nice but stupid, and Jake is like nice but stupid in the first movie. Like I never realized how much of a himbo Jake was in the first movie until I rewatched it, and I was like, this man has no brain. But you know, like you know what he wants, and he like wants such a simple thing, and you just want him to get it, and you're like, you know what, you're dumb, but like I support. And he's so snarky. He just, and like the things he does are like stupid, but they're like snarky and it's cute and nice, and you're like, oh, he's just a little dude, he's just a little guy. And then when he's like Oh my god. The scenes with him and Payakan? Payakan? Yeah. That's the whale's name. Stop repeating things. And they're like, and he's like jumping off of him. He's doing flips and they're having so much fun together. I'm like, oh my god, it's just so cute. It's so fun. You know, he's just a little dude. Like, I don't know. I love him. He makes such stupid decisions, but they're so warranted. Like, I totally get where he's coming from. My god. Okay, now I'm going to talk about bad things. Can you believe it? Or just now we're getting bad things. This is probably the longest I've talked positively about something, like, in the history of my channel, which is not very long, but okay. Anyway, bad things now. We're gonna talk about bad things. Tsireya, the pretty, like, Medcaina girl that Loak meets, and she's, like, on the movie poster. She's on the movie poster. Do you see her? Do you see her on there? Why is she on the movie poster? She gets like a ton of scenes in the trailer, right? And you're like, oh my god, she's gonna be like a super main character. She's on the poster. There are only 4 people on the poster. She's one of those 4 people. Like, insane. Like, the girl who plays her, Bailey Bass, I think. Bailey Bass? I feel like I prefer that it was Bass, not Bass. I don't know. Like, that girl, she's been like to so many like stuff, you know, she's like super popular right now. I'm like, oh my god, like, she's a big character. And she's not really. She's just not really. She's just I feel like there were definitely a lot of scenes that like developed her better, but like her entire character in the movie is just she likes Loak for no reason. And she's nice. Like, from the very beginning, she's like, don't bully them. And also, she's like weirdly short. Sorry, is that a mean thing to say? She's weirdly short. Okay, so she's like, don't bully them. And you're like, oh, so she's just a nice character like that. She's just nice like that. And she's like, she's always happy. She's always smiling. She's like, here's your home. She's like their tour guide. And then you don't see her for a while. And then suddenly she and Loak have like a thing going on. Like, she's just really flirty with him. And you're like, but why do you like him though? Is it because he said hey? Like, literally the only thing they said to each other is like, hey, at that point. He just like, hey. And she was like, I'm so charmed by you. Like, I mean, there are likable things about Loak, but like, she's like, I feel like she doesn't know them, you know? Like, they don't really know each other that well. We don't know her very well at all. Like, she's just there to like show them how to do things. And after she's shown them how to do things, she disappears for a bit, and then she comes back and she's like, oh my god, Loak, I see you. And then she goes away again. And I'm like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, there was a comparison. I think somebody who was working on the movie said that, like, maybe it was the director, James Cameron, who knows? Like, somebody was like, Tsireya is the Neytiri of the sea. And no, she's not. Like, I get that, like, she fills the same role as Neytiri, but, like, way worse. Like, she's like the princess of the tribe that they go visit. She's sexy, she's hot, she's, like, showing them around. But Neytiri, like, there was conflict with Neytiri, you know? It wasn't, like, easy, you know? Like, Neytiri didn't like Jake in the beginning. It wasn't like insta-love. She was just like, oh, I like believe in him. And then Tsireya is just like, oh, I just like Loak and I love him forever. Like, literally, when they go meet their tokens, their whale things, and they like go, and she goes to see her whale thing for like the first time in like a really long time, and she goes, and the first thing she tells her is, I met a boy. That's the first. Is that it? Is that the most exciting thing going on in your life right now? Like, you guys barely even talk. Like, okay, anyway, I just think it's annoying. I feel like her thing, she could have been a better character. We didn't even need to, like, see her more to have her be a better character, but, like, she could have had, like, maybe she's mad at Loak for, like, befriending Payakan, the outcast Tolkien whale thing, and she's like, you shouldn't have done that, that was bad. And then Loak's like, wait, no, let me show you how cool this whale is. And they go hang on the whale together, and she's like, oh damn, you're so quirky, and you're right. Like, I don't know, that could have been better. Like, you know what, I don't know, maybe there wasn't enough time in this 3-hour movie to make her a good character, but I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Like, she was so bad. And she was so useless. Like, she never fought anyone. Not that she had to fight someone, but, like, she could have done something. Like, she could have done something of use. You know what I mean? Like, when the fight starts, she gets thrown to the water. When Ateum dies, she's the one who stays by his corpse because we don't want her in the fight scenes. Like, what even was the point of her? Why was she even there? I don't know. I just hope she gets more, like, development in the future. Okay. Nateum? I'm like conflicted on this one because I know a lot of people were very sad when he died, but I personally was not. I was like shocked that he died. And the reason I was shocked was because I feel like we didn't finish his character development or even get started like at all. He's like the older brother who has to follow Lewak to like all the crazy shit he does, and then he gets in trouble and he almost dies. And you're like, oh my god, that's gonna be like his old thing. He's gonna like overcome this shit or something. Oh my god, that's like kind of awful because Nateum basically lived to follow Lewak around and try to keep him from getting killed until it eventually killed him. You know what I mean? Like, he changes nothing about his behavior. He keeps following Lewak around. He never has, like, this strength to tell him, no, don't do that. That's crazy. That's insane. We're gonna die. Until he literally dies. Like, that's kind of sad. That is kind of sad. Maybe I should have cried in theaters, but I was too shocked. You know what I mean? Like, it was, like, shock. Like, he wasn't done, you know? Like, I feel like we weren't done with him. He wasn't done. He had shit to do. I kind of don't like that he died. And I feel like, I don't know, I feel like he just died for Lewak's character development. And I feel like you can feel whatever way you feel about that, but I think it's true. And also, I think he also slightly died for Jake's character development because now Jake has to think a little bit about, like, his second son, and now he has to actually pay attention to Lewak and stuff, because he only has, like, one left. And also, his last words, right, when he dies, he says, I want to go home. Sorry, that is kind of sad. He says, I want to go home. And you're like, oh my god, that's sad as fuck. And then, when they bury him, they drop him in the ocean. Like, his words are implying that he didn't like it there, right? Like, he's implying, he means he wants to go home. Why would you bury him? Like, I know that, like, home is where the heart is or whatever the fuck, but, like, he definitely meant the jungle, right? He meant that he wanted to go back to the jungle. Or, like, he wanted to go back to the way things were. I don't know, but, they bury him in the ocean. It's whatever, but it's just weird to think about. And then they go and they permanently start living with the Metkaina people, which you can feel however way about that you feel, but I kind of don't like it. Like, okay, I feel like I wouldn't have liked it either way, because I would have been like, if they just went back to the jungle, I would have been like, then why'd they even come here? You know what I mean? Like, why'd we develop all these people if they were just gonna leave? But also, I'm like, well, you've only been here for like a few months, right? Like, why would you make this your permanent home? Just because your son's buried here? You didn't have to bury your son here. You could have taken him back and buried him in the jungle. Like, it's weird. I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's no way to get around that, but that's just my thoughts. Kiri. I know we all love Sigourney Weaver. I know Sigourney Weaver was amazing in the first movie, but guys, I think Sigourney Weaver has aged out of, like, the playing teenage daughter role. You know what I mean? She's like 73. She's literally 73. She looks amazing for 73, but she does not look anywhere near like 15. You know what I mean? Like, she looks way too old. But like, it's not the looks that matter to me, because like they CGI it out. She looks fine. She looks young. She looks spry. But the voice, Kiri's voice is so obviously the voice of like an old woman who is trying to sound young. Like, and her voice appears a lot in the trailer, right? She's like, I can feel her. I can hear her heart beat mighty. I'm like, why does her voice sound like that? Like, it's every time she speaks, I'm like taken out of the movie, because all I can see is Sigourney Weaver pretending to be a teenager. And I just don't understand why they couldn't have gotten someone a little bit with a younger voice to like voice her. I don't know, like Sigourney Weaver still could have acted her. Like, I don't, like, the voice just takes me out of the entire movie. It just, I just don't understand. Also about Kiri, I just feel like her plotline was so divorced from everybody else's. Like, I know that I just don't think I care about all the spiritual stuff going on, because I like didn't really care about Kiri at all. Like if I had to pick a character, I care least about Kiri out of like every single character, except for maybe Took, because like I don't really care about her. She doesn't really have anything going on, except for everyone keeps thinking that they should bring the child to the battle. They're like, oh no, we all gotta go help Lawak get his whale like warned or whatever, like warn his whale. I mean warn his Tolkien. So they're all chasing him, and then Kiri's like, where are we going? And she takes Took with her, and I'm like, why would you do that? They're probably gonna go do something dangerous. They're all in a very urgent state. Don't bring the child. I mean, I know why they keep bringing the child, so that she can be used in a hostage situation, but like, stop bringing the child. Stop it. Besides that, I like do not care about Kiri's plotline that much. Like it's just too separate. And also like the part where she saves everyone from drowning by like bringing them the fish or whatever. I don't know. Like, why didn't instead of doing that, she could have just like grabbed like the little jellyfish wing thingamabobbers that they used in the beginning of the movie, and just like grab like armfuls of that shit and go with your jellyfish wing thingamabobber and like distribute them, and then maybe that would have been faster. I mean, who knows? Like, she sat down to meditate and all that shit. I'm like, your family could be dying. I don't know. It's whatever. It's just like a weird scene to me, because I was like, oh my god, setup and payoff. They're gonna use these jellyfish things, but like they don't really. You know? That was like a small thing. Like, I don't actually hate Kiri. I just think that like she was alright. I hate that Norm was in this movie. I wish Norm died. That's just my thoughts. I don't like Norm. I didn't like Norm the first movie, and I didn't like him this movie. And I know he only got like 2 minutes of screen time, but like, kill Norm. My thoughts. Quaritch, he has one goal, right? He just wants to kill Jake. Okay? He doesn't specify how he wants to kill Jake. He just wants to kill Jake. Quaritch could have killed Jake like a million different times during the final battle scene. Like, first of all, so he has his kids, right? First of all, like, if you have 2 of his kids, you can definitely just kill one to mean you show business, and like just keep the other one as a hostage, right? Okay, then just maybe that's too gruesome. It's PG-13. I don't know. But so he like has the kids, and he's like, come over here, or I'm gonna kill him. Just like come over. And he's like with a huge army, right? So at this point, I understand why he can't shoot Jake, because if he shoots Jake, this huge army is gonna come at them and like kill him or whatever. So he's like, okay, Jake, just come over here, Jake. So Jake slowly goes over, right? So that part I understand. But after Natam dies, and Jake's just sitting there on the island, and Quaritch has a ton of snipers on him. Like, we're looking through the sniper hole at Jake, right? Like, he's not even that far away. Why don't you just, like, snipe the guy? Like, maybe it's a little bit cruel to, like, kill him while he's mourning his son, but, like, I don't know, you've done worse things. And, like, you don't even have to do it while you're doing that, you know what I mean? Like, when he's slowly coming towards you again, because, like, he arrives, like, when he turns around and looks at you, kill him then! I don't know. Like, we see Jake a lot through a little sniper lens, and I'm like, this means that somebody's got him, right? Like, kill him. But no, Quaritch is like, we're gonna wait till Jake gets onto the boat so we can have a fist fight. Because I want that. I want the fist fight. I mean, I know we want the fist fight. Like, I wouldn't have wanted Jake to get sniped, but then maybe don't show Jake through the sniper lens so that now we know that he totally could have killed him at any point. I'm beginning to doubt Quaritch's motivations. Okay. Also, regarding Natam's death, Jake definitely needs to work some shit out with Lawak, right? Like, they definitely need to have a conversation. I feel like everyone's like, oh, that moment was sweet. That was like a 2-second moment, okay? Where he just said, I see you. Like, you've treated him like shit, like, for, like, a really long time, right? And, like, you told him it was his fault that his brother died. You gotta, like, sort some shit out, okay? You gotta take this guy to therapy. Like, this isn't okay. It's not okay. Also, the final thing, I didn't cry throughout this entire movie. I did not shed a single tear. And that's not great to me, because I cry incredibly easily, and everybody was telling me that I was gonna cry a lot during this movie. I mean, by everyone was telling me, I mean, like, the reviews and stuff, and, like, the trailer looked like I was gonna cry. I was like, I'm probably gonna cry. I was telling everybody, I was like, I can't wait to cry at this amazing movie. I did not shed a single tear Even when Ataean died, I was just like shocked. You know what I mean? It could have been sadder. I want to cry. Okay, that's my last criticism. That's my last critique. Amazing, amazing, amazing movie. I know everyone's like, how do you keep, everyone's like, how do you keep loving, how do you keep, like, liking all these things when you have so much shit to say about them? It's like, I don't know. That's just how I work, okay? I just like to talk shit, and that's just how I am, and you just gotta take me as I am, you know? But, like, maybe to an extent you can understand me when I say that this movie was amazing. This movie, like, this is cinema. This is cinema, okay? And if you meet anyone who tells you that this movie was not good, they are lying to you. They didn't actually see the movie, or they're, like, stupid, okay? Like, don't... I'm sorry. I'm starting to feel kind of mean, because I'm like, well, everyone's valid, but no. In this case, if you think this movie is bad, your opinion is not valid. This movie is objectively good. This is peak cinema. This is so good. This is the first movie that I've seen in theaters that I was like, I gotta see this again. I gotta see this again. You know, I was like the next day I was looking for more, like, screening times because I just wanted to see another one. This movie was amazing. I'm gonna go see it again. You should see this movie. You should see it again. Well, okay, if you already sat through all the spoilers, then, like, yeah, you should still see this movie. Even if you haven't seen it, you just spoil the entire thing for yourself. That's okay. You know? Yes. This is a good movie. Go watch it. Please. This is amazing. I cannot wait for Avatar 3. Honestly, it was kind of worth the 13 years of wait. I mean, maybe not to a lot of people, but to me, it kind of feels worth it. Like, it's kind of good. Like, they put their heart and soul into this movie, and I really appreciate that. If you like this video, like and subscribe, and leave a hey comment. Thank you. Love ya.